Hello and welcome everyone to the OVRC and welcome to round 5 of our GT Season 5. I'm joined again by Owen
Hello everyone.
and we are in sunny Belgium for qualifying for the 5th round as we are at Spa, the famous Spa-Francorchamps track, very well known for hosting all sorts of racing around the world from open wheels to GT to touring cars sometimes. A great track. Assuming you've been around here a few times.
Yeah.
So as the cars are now heading out onto track right now for their outlaps, we will on Romenko right now on board with him as he's on his outlap right now. Qualifying is 15 minutes along, but the lap around here is quite a long lap. It's one of the longer ones of the season. So while it's only 15 minutes, you don't actually have much time to get running out, and it's sometimes a bit worth just spinning the car a bit more and getting more laps out rather than pitting. But we'll see what the strategies are. Right now, the BMW is looking like the car to have from a brief look.
Right, so before the qualifying starts properly, I'll take us through the championship standings again. In the driver standings, Mike Stoffmiller is leading with 380 points. Second is Thomas Olsen with 228 points. Third is Christopher Strapen with 162 points. Fourth is Gerard Garunian with 156 points. And fifth is Alexander Secker with 148 points. And in the team standings, leading is Virtual Drivers by TX3, aka Mike Stoffmiller on his own, with 380 points. Second is Team Denmark with 376 points, so very close behind. Third is Pro Formula Esports A with 287 points. Fourth is OVRC with 212 points. And fifth is Pro Formula Esports B with 137 points. And as usual, you can find the full standings at the link in the description.
Thank you very much for running quickly through those. As Romenkov is going to start their flying lap now. Head down the start-finish straight towards La Source. Hard on the brakes here for basically a hairpin. Dip the car down, and then you go onto the old pit straight. You can see the old pits to one side there, as you're now heading down to the famous Rouge and Radillon corners. It's the bottom of the hill, and it's a very quick climb up the hill again. Try to get away as much as you can cutting the top there, and then down the Kennel. The longest straight of the track, you can reach quite high here. I can't remember what the top speeds are, but about the 260 or plus kilometers per hour. Heavy in the brakes now for the Coombs. Quick little left and right. And you said down the hill and start your descent. That's the first time being 137.5 in sector 1. Tricky sector 2. Sector 2 a lot more about the downforce of the car, where the car is balanced. As you know, he's now heading towards one. A fast corner. So you need 2 corners really from the looks of things, but there you go. He's trying to keep the car balanced. He is doing quite a bit of soaring work on the wheel there to keep it straight, but there you go. Now into campus. And level up. It's a bit wide there. That might invalidate the lap. It has appeared to have done that. We'll stay on board for the rest of the lap though, as he's heading now towards Blogimore. Which is upcoming now. Get another quick flick corner. And now into the bus stop chicane. Surprisingly quite tricky corner because it's slightly off camber. But that's making through, and that is a lap of Spa. So that did not count for any times due to
Alexander Secker will be first to cross the line with a proper lap though. And he does a 2:19.1.
Can't quite remember what times we're getting in practice, but I believe they were quicker, and Stepan is going quicker right now. He's getting a bit of tow from Olsen in front, And he does set the quickest time of 2:18.7. Car's track is a track which will benefit from toes. There's quite a lot of long straights here, as Mike Stoffel now sets the fastest Sector 1 and Sector 2. Right, to be off the curb then. On the brakes now for the bus stop. We'll set a time of 2 minute 18.004 and provisional pole. So apparently all but 2 cars are out on track right now, with Alexander Promekov and Villar both in the pit lane right now. Everyone else is out on track. As Valentin Millet is one of the sole Corvette drivers now. A few car changes have happened in this race. I think a few people have switched to the BMW. Everyone gets 1 car change allowed before they will be penalised.
Mike Stoffel is improving on his time in Sector 1, although there was just a Porsche getting in the way there. Don't know if that's going to cost him any time. That was Victor Berlin. Just going a bit wide.
The Audi seems to be somewhat, according to Mike, struggling a bit in with downforce. Because to get any top line speed in this car, you need to match the M6, you have to chop out a lot of the downforce, it seems. And it's not quite as quick enough in Sector 2 as the BMWs, but does seem to have a bit of advantage during practice anyway in the first sector. See how the lap times do go as your leaves and losers 0.006 in that middle sector. Head across the line right now, possibly picking up a tiny bit of toe, and he will go faster and into the 2:17s now. The Stoffel quickest, extending his lead. Tony Stoffel is leading the championship and has won the majority of races so far. A very strong season right now. Some of his closest competitors are unavailable to show up for this race, so hopefully some of the guys behind can step the game up and get a bit close the gap a bit. We're very close during practice, with Mamenkov being the second quickest. He's currently sitting in P3 right now. As James Butler's gone hard into the wall at the top of Rallion. That's totaled his car. And he returns to the pit lane, but that was quite a hard impact there, and it's the track where the walls are surprisingly quite close in a lot of corners, and especially Rallion, where the car does get a bit loose as you go over the top. It can be quite scary sometimes for a driver. So just over 5 minutes left in the session. Not long now for the drivers to set their times. As Victor Berlin goes into the wall and hits the wall, he might have a bit of suspension damage there. Might be continuing his lap, but that was a bit of a knock into that wall. We try and avoid doing that. Just a few other people are improving their time. Still 2 cars yet to set a time. Bit of a smaller grid compared to Imola. It goes a bit wide and the exit of sector 2. Flamenco is improving his times. Still losing a bit of time in that first sector to Stoffmill, so Yaldi being very strong there. As Stoffmill goes fastest in one of the sectors, I can't quite know which one it is.
Tendo just improved his time, but he's still down in 11th position.
Flamenco improves his sector time as well, so
Actually went fastest in sector 2 as well.
yeah, so he's gone fastest, so everyone looking to improve. Can he keep that momentum going now into the final sector? To make up 0.3 of a second in that sector 2 to get fastest, because that first sector by Stoffmill is very quick indeed. Across the line now, and he'll I think he invalidated it.
Yeah, he stayed in 3rd position, even though it seemed he was going faster.
Stoffmill's going to enter sector 2 now. So Grinion jumps up to P2. As Stoffmill improves his sector 2 time, so Stoffmill looking to extend the gap a bit further now. You're slightly worried before heading into this race that the Audi might not be that close to the M6. It looks like he's been proving everyone else wrong in that regard, and if he can get pole here with 2 minutes to go, if no one's out on track right now, they will struggle to get a time in. Across the line, he's trying to make the shortest run possible, and he loses a bit of time out in that final sector, which is a bit of a shame, but he does improve his time.
Still a number of people out there improving their personal sectors, but not really getting close to Mike Stoffmill.
See if Romankov can do anything, and he's slower. He improves personally in sector 2, but
Oh, Cazorla was improving, but he had an issue at the bus stop, which I assume will have cost him a lot of time. Indeed it did. Sebastian Bernier about to cross the line and stays in 7th position. Romanenko just got out of the bus stop chicane.
will he improve his time? And he moves up to P2. So 0.4 off, so it does look like Stoffmill will be on pole position here as the last few cars coming through now. Only 40 seconds left, so not really enough time to set another lap now.
Here Coronian can improve. He doesn't improve his time, but stays in 3rd.
I believe now that no one's really close enough to set a new lap. I does believe that, unless someone else out, looks like Stoffmill will be on pole, followed by Romankov, followed by Grinion, then Verstappen, Secker, Olsen, Brunier, Miller, Carzola, Berlin, Villar, Premenkov, Dendo, and rounding off is James Butler at the back in P14. As that looks like to be our grid for The 5th race of the season. And Stoffmore got quite a big advantage in that session. Now, can he convert that into race pace? About to find out. We are heading into the race. Going in the gear, fueling up stage, everyone's going to make sure the cars are set into a race set if they do have one. And as everyone starts to line up on the grid. BMW's on the inside line, but the Audi has a better launch off the line, so Stoffmore should be able to hold his position if possible. We prepare as the lights go red. And we are go for round 5, and Stoffmore got a very good launch. A few other people, a bit of contact behind some of the Mercury. The BMW struggling on the start. Stoffmore got ahead now, and he keeps his lead now as well. One of the cars behind has spun around.
The BMW, Sebastian Brunier was that, and a bunch of other people involved as well. Pohomenkov and Velar.
Oh, one of the BMWs has gone hard into the wall there. I don't know what that is.
Grunion.
That's Grunion. He's off in the wall and missing a wheel, and that's his race over already on the first lap. He went side by side with someone, and that's his race over already. It's going quite a bit racy right now. As Stoffmore's under attack now by Romankov. Now in the sector 2 now, as everyone else seems to be able to go. Still a bit of side-by-side actions behind.
Yeah, that's between Berlin and Secher. Berlin just pulling ahead now. And then Secher is getting attacked by Mollier.
He's losing a bit of time now. I don't know if he's got damage
at all.
Yeah,
he's losing out to Cazorla. Cazorla takes 7th position.
Stoffmore still trying to break away now. He's maintaining the gap to about half a second. And I head out towards Stavlo through campus. This is where the BMW will get towards the end of this straight. Will get a bit more speed. Got quite a long straight to go. He's got his hope he can hold on. He might get a bit defensive now into the bus stop. Goes very wide there. Hold off against now. Stoffman was a really quick bus stop if possible to get a good launch here. He does get a better exit. And now head down the hill once again. See Stoffman making a gap here. This is where he's quick. He's out of those slow corners where he gets a bit of advantage. Meanwhile, a bit further behind, just kind of back in the midfield. All 4 cars very close, currently being led by Victor Berlin. Tucker looking to make his way back around. He tries to go around the outside, and he makes it happen and gains a position there over Victor Berlin. Good bit of driving there by Alexander Secker.
Very nicely done.
Go defend now.
Berlin trying to make the move.
Might have
get that position back, but does not succeed.
Might have opened the door there to Carzola behind in the BMW. These 4 are still very close together. Secker's now got to make a bit of a break after someone with a bit of a slower start. believe even possibly a spinner behind. What happens? Sebastian Bruno's moved up position. That's what's happened. Let's look at the timing tower. Carzola's on all over the back of Victor Berlin's. Oh, Grego very wide there on the exit. Down below. That's all they go, but moving very close. Like goes on the back of Victor Berlin there. Oh, so close to the back of that car. The two Mercedes have now making a bit of a break towards this pack. Now head down the hill once more. This is the third lap of the race. In the wall. So far, only one retirement, and that was Grunion very early at the start. Into a Rouge, just got pinged off to one side, probably a bit of side-by-side contact with somebody else. And that ended his race very quickly indeed.
Straight into the wall.
Of course, the walls are not soft. A bit behind the order, Villar is now racing James Butler behind, so new versus old Porsche right now. Villar should be able to get down the inside here. He's close enough. No, he's not close enough, so he's got a bit more. This is all the way down in P12. I guess it's only time Piron, but backs out of it, so be a bit cautious at this stage of the race. But a smart thing to do, still tons of time left, and Sparta track where a silly mistake can very quickly end your race. So that Villar goes down the inside. Tries to hold it around the outside, but can't quite make it work. We'll have the inside now for Campus. And we'll make the move happen and gets in front of James Butler. Moves up to P11.
Oh, Romanenko going side by side with Stoffmill almost at the entry of the bus stop.
Getting all that straight line speed right now. This two fighting has somewhat means that Verstappen behind is going to close the gap slowly. You can see here where Stoffel is quicker. It's all these sort of slow corners on the exit. You can get a better run, but make a better gap. He needs to break the slipstream if all possible to try and stay ahead of that BMW. Head down the Camel. Just behind them is the fight for P6. Berlin has now got the Mercedes Carzo and the Millet behind in the Corvette.
It's like Sacher has managed to pull away slightly from that back, but Berlin, Cazorla and Mollier are still fighting.
That fight will possibly slow them down a bit. Probably got a bit of side damage there. You can just see a bit of scraping, so he may have had a bit of a side-by-side contact earlier on in the race. Looking to make a way around Berlin. Berlin sort of parks his car in the middle of the road to sort of defend that position. I think it's hard as possible to make the overtake happen.
Oh, they're sticking very close behind though, trying to get into the slipstream. take advantage of the straight line speed of the BMW.
Porsche gets such a better exit there. You can see as he
Yeah.
gets out the corner, he gets a bit of a gap already. But here comes Carzo, getting closer and closer and closer. Be careful sometimes when following another car though, because you got obviously the slipstream does take away some of your downforce, so can't exactly steer as well for the high-speed corners, which means you have to somewhat lift off your Blanchimont. And stays ahead for another lap. Meanwhile, Sebastian Brunner is on a bit of a comeback drive right now. He's going to get past Dendo after having a turn 1 incident. He does still seem to be going. As right now, Miller's on the back, and now Cazzola as well. So this fight for P6 is going to get a bit more heated now as Miller's going down. He gets a bit blocked there. All these three staying very close to each other right now. So Menkov's getting very close to the back of Stefamel in for P1.
Right, for P1 is much closer than the qualifying may have suggested, which is nice to see.
Lavino has a bit more race pace than qualifying pace in this case. Getting very good laps out in qualifying. Simonenkov is keeping him honest right now, not letting him get exactly far away out of reach. And while Sebastian Brun has got ahead of Dendo, so Sebastian Brun has got to catch up to this pack. So we kind of keep fighting though. The wheel structure down, which will allow Sebastian to get involved with these lot. As the Mercedes up ahead has broken away a bit, as Menkov is once again very close to Stoffel. Stoffel might have to go defensive down to the bus stop, and he does. He puts the car in a spot where Menkov just basically swipe him in, can't overtake, and then you can see the Audi pulling away there. So once again, Stoffel keeps his lead. Go back to the bus stop. Byrne gets a bit messy on the bus stop entry. Luckily for him, although it can't get exactly past, as Mert goes down the inside, down into the source. They stay side by side. There's a bit, none of them gets put into the wall, so they keep their distance, and Carzo manages to hang around the outside and stay P7. Front engine cars here, there's possibly room for an overtake here. No, he backs out the throttle. Not worth risking an overtake there. They have a decent amount of overspeed, so it could have been possible.
Still 47 minutes left to go in the race though, so no need to hurry.
Oh, yeah, no. Getting a bit of a worse line through that corner. As the gap for the lead is getting even close once again, and this is the point set to freeze where the BMW seems to come very much alive. I was going to stop him a wall, now I had to hang to the inside line as Menkov tries to go round the outside and goes a bit deep.
Oh, outbrakes himself.
Yeah, both BMWs do that. Both go very deep into that corner and loses him a bunch of time. Not what you want to do. Obviously tries to go for a bit of later brake maneuver, but a bit too late. While he is still behind Stoffmill, the gap has increased. Not trusting that time just yet on the overlays. Timing bugs strike again. There's Sugi Stoffmill a bit more breathing room now to try and get a bit of a getaway right now.
Oh, Cazorla and Berlin were side by side on the exit of the source. Berlin managing to stay ahead though. Molly is still very close behind Cazorla.
Yep, all these three still very close together. But Berlin's trying his best to keep them behind. It's a bit wide on the exit there, but we'll let him get around with that. Just for now, as all Volk goes side by side now with the BMW, as they all head down towards down the Keller Straight, they go towards the comms as Mullet makes his way through, and he makes his way up into. Oh, has there been
Berlin's
contact?
run.
Has there
May have been contact.
I think there might have been contact. I don't know, Mullet slowed down a bit.
Yeah, they were very close together.
What's that? I don't know, but Sebastian's all the way back into these guys now, so yeah, Millet seems to obviously take guilt there. He's letting him through gentleman's rules.
Yeah. And that puts him vulnerable to Sebastian Bernier as well.
I think he's just got trying to slip up the inside a bit closer and just rotated the Porsche around. Unfortunate for those lot as they were having a good race there, which has let Carzola get away a bit. Not what you always want to see, as James Butler spun on his own, it seems. Headed around towards X. Now Sebastian Bruno is now in striking distance of Miller. Again, he had an issue in turn 1, getting contact with another car. Spinning himself around, but he now is right back in the fight again due to the spin earlier. Well, just now. Must be quite hungry to get back into P6. Possibly. So just over a quarter of the race has been done. Or completed. As Villar in the background has got past Dendo. Saying that, he goes a bit deep there on the exit of the bus stop and now is behind again, so Villar might be one of those cars involved in the contact earlier on in the race. He's also a bit of a comeback driver as well. He's currently behind Dendo in the AMG, in the Chrome Lincoln Park AMG. Still only one retirement so far in this race.
Yeah, from the very first lap as Goranian hit the barrier at Eau Rouge.
As Villar's all over the back of Dendo, goes around the outside. Desto holding the inside, make it as hard as possible, but Villar will possibly get through now to go side by side. Yeah, Villar does manage to squeeze his rear past, moves himself back up into P10. You know, the fight between Miller and Berlin is heating up once more. As they've almost closed the gap. You want to know roughly for the fastest lap times. Everyone's setting currently fastest as a 2:19. If qualifying was a 2:17, so about 2 seconds off the fastest in qualifying. Just goes to show how much more fuel adds, especially on a track this long, how much it adds to your lap times by just having a bit more fuel in your car. Says that as Mike Stoffel last lap goes into 2:18.9 and Miller, Miller, Victor Berlin and Sebastian all very close to each other going to the bus stop. bit to go, is defensive. Oh, that's a very close there by all of them, nearly.
Well, you're having to get on the brakes to avoid hitting Berlin.
I was taking a bit of a weird line there. He seems to be switching over a bit more on the second part of the bus stop. Don't know if that's quicker or not, but it seems to be getting a better exit out of it, but possibly compromising him wide in it. So, if I can get closer to that, that'd be the point to stick up the inside. There will be a possible opportunity. A bit risky. Could work. And then to lap 9, with 40 minutes left to go. Once again, the midfield producing a great race right now for us to watch. It's somewhat calmed down at the front, and I believe that his mistake has somewhat pulled him out of contention a bit. He's still very close to the lap times. He's not completely out of it yet.
They're very close in terms of lap times, but of course that means he's not gaining.
Not gaining, he's not in the tow anymore, which seems to be helping out a lot there, especially during the first sector where Stoffel has been quickest. All during practice and all during qualifying, that's why he's made most of his time up on the BMWs. Obviously, not having that advantage, or not having that tow assist, is not helping them out at all. As Miller goes down the inside of Pillon now. And Sebastian is trying to look for a way through, possibly. He's holding behind. He's hoping these two.
So, side by side with Berlin. And he is ahead, but Berlin's still trying to get his nose in there.
Bit wide there. Berlin's still all over the rear end of that Corvette. And this is where the Porsche gets a really good launch here. The stage
All
just
three of them very close together now.
All getting very close then. Everyone a bit looking for a gap. Berlin looking for the same gap Sebastian's looking for as well.
See what happens into the bus stop. This could get interesting.
Berlin goes
Berlin
down the inside into the bus stop.
Can he make it stick? Doesn't look like it. Might allow Berlin to get in there.
Berlin gets a bit of touch there. He backs out a bit. Hopefully no damage there caused by that bit of touch. Sebastian not happy, flashes the lights a bit. As the Miller goes a bit of a shallow line through the La Source, but does get ahead now of Victor Berlin and moves himself up to P7. Great bit of racing between those three. Berlin somewhat heading backwards down the order now. There's got a bit of way now to get back up to Cassette. Just up the road, as you can see, he's finishing the Camel right now, just up there. That's how much time they've lost due to that spin and their fighting. And in the background, you can see Villar then, the other Porsche.
Alexander Sacher in P5 has seemed to have closed up a fair bit to Olsen over the last few laps, so we'll see how that progresses.
He was racing, or having to get past this lot early on in the race. I believe he had a bit of a poor start. He got through them all and he's now showing his true pace right now. Had somewhat of a troubled season so far for him, having a couple of comeback drives during it. He's made the most of all of his mistakes and somehow managed to get decent results towards the end by just going back through the field, and he's becoming very good at comeback drives. So that.
Romanenko going a couple tenths faster than Stoffel on the last lap.
He's now broken into the 2:18s as well. Sebastian Bruns on the back still of Victor Berlin. That Porsche on the exit there just gets such a big advantage. the car is a rear engine. The engine's behind the rear axle. That's why it's got such a large rear end to it. It's got an engine there. Got a flat 6, I believe, they still use in the Porsche.
Yep.
I don't know what engine or what size or anything like that, but it's flat 6. It's in the back, where it should be in the Porsche, unlike the RSR. The new RSR is what has been announced for a race back a while back now in January, so that'll be coming out in the near future. Which should be a interesting
Doing
car.
TM. Oh, Brunier goes down the inside of Berlin. No, doesn't make it stick.
Backs out of it at the last moment there, like halfway through the corner, so hang on a second, I might hit him if I'm not careful. Might be a reenactment of what happened earlier on for Berlin. Earlier on he did get spun around. Berlin does seem to be struggling pace-wise. Not quite got the pace now to... Sebastian definitely seems to be the faster of the cars here. He's getting maybe slightly better exits, possibly helped out by that odd characteristic of the Porsche helping out. And for a second there, Romankov closed the gap to under 1 second. For a moment in time. As Alexander Secker is close.
Oh, Berlin has spun. And Brunier gets past. Brunier moves up to 8th.
Stuck right now. He's
Berlin has Velar passed as well.
What happened
And
there?
rejoins the track.
Oh,
Seems to have just spun on his own on the exit. I don't think they made contact. Too much of a gap for that.
His wheel is pointing fairly straight. I don't think there's any suspension damage either. Yeah, it must have spun on his own, possibly. And he's back up to speed now. So, Secker is now closing the gap. Got Olsen up ahead. Battle of the Mercedes. These two being... I think I just caught a glimpse of it just now on my replay of Amateur, and I think he just looped it on his own. The camera unfortunately did just switch away straight up to Secker. Up against second there, but I believe he did lose it all on his own there. As Olsen goes a bit wide. I think Secker get very close now.
Yeah, Secker definitely a bit faster at the moment. Slowly closing the gap over the last few laps.
Closing the gap again. He started behind that little pack earlier we saw of those Victor Berlin sort of pack cars. And he's made his way all the way up to P5, and now he's chasing Olsen, who's had a somewhat clean race so far. So definitely, possibly the quicker of the two Mercedes right now.
Yeah, Olsen has just been kind of a no man's land earlier in the race, but he's having to do some work now to stay ahead of Secker.
Fellow countryman as well. Possibly a little rivalry between the two.
Yep.
Double checking for the team together. It shouldn't really matter team orders, really. If one
They
of
are of the same livery as well.
Yep.
Yeah, they're both Team Denmark.
Oh, Millet has looped it, I think, in the bus stop. Or no, he's got past Carzola. Carzola's looped it. Carzola must have spun the bus stop because Millet's moved it to P6 just ahead of him. Carzola is moving forward now. I was wondering what happened there. It's like the timing tower's moving around. Yeah, it does seem that Ricardo has spun or lost control. Something's happening. He's lost all this time he gained.
They're definitely getting very close to also now. So may be able to make a move on this lap, possibly at the bus stop.
Possibly as well, as we are approaching the halfway point.
Yep, so we are halfway into the race now. Mike Stoffmühl is leading, with Romanenko closely behind. Verstappen kind of on his own in P3. And then we're currently looking at Thomas Olsen and Alexander Secher fighting for P4.
Midfield pack has somewhat split up due to a couple of instant spins, that sort of thing, has somewhat split them all up again, but the last one possibly have closed them up again. As Secher gets a way better bus stop there, looks a lot cleaner. As Olsen pulls all the way to one side to try and defend it. Now head down the hill for 14th time. Cut there by Olsen. Enough gap as Secher's gaining, pulls out to the inside line. He could possibly make some moves on the brakes. He goes side by side and gets in the front. So Alexander
Secher moves up to P4.
Yep. That's moves up to P4. Very good move there.
Both very clean.
Both drivers gave respect to each other. No funny business, no like late blocking or anything like that. Just, I mean, Secher now has to somewhat now pull away now. Obviously, he doesn't have the toe anymore, so he doesn't have that advantage.
Oh, James Butler has spun, it seems. He's retired into the pits now, but he was just without a front end at the start of the start-finish straight. So seems to have spun on the exit of the bus stop, I assume.
Possibly hit a wall on the exit or something like that, but he's now at the rate of marks our second retirement at this race at Spa. Just worth noting, the leaders' lap times are still fairly close to each other right now, a bit of back and forth between them.
Yeah, so let's see what's happened on this lap once they cross the line. Yeah, still very similar. Stoffmühl ever so slightly faster, but
That's all
seem to be keeping about the same distance between them.
That's all Stoffmühl needs to do. He needs to keep that gap big enough that there's no obvious tow or slipstream from Menkov and behind, because he knows that if that BMW's in slipstream range, it's very hard to get out of it. BMW's got a lot of power at the top end, and it's the acceleration where it lacks. So giving it a bit of tow sort of negates that disadvantage he does have. So Stoffmühl needs that gap as big as possible to stay in front, essentially. Doing so quite well. Renko was very close in the early stages. Made a bit of a mistake trying to make an overtake on the bus stop, and that somewhat dropped him down the order. Well, not dropped him down the order, but lost him a bit of time. As Secher is somewhat pulling away now from Olsen, so Secher, the quicker of the two Mercedes. And would he be quick enough to make up an 18-second deficit to the BMW ahead of Verstappen? It could happen, but I don't know. I don't know what the times are. About bit about the same lap time, so it's gonna be quite a challenge. He's gonna basically get a second per lap now, kind of thing, to get anywhere close.
Yeah, it's still 26 minutes left, so it seems unlikely to happen, but still there's always the possibility of Verstappen possibly making a mistake.
Yep. And 25 minutes means you got 25 minutes to make a mistake. So he's got to keep getting the laps out and keep them clean as possible. Menkov is closing that gap now. He has possibly in slipstream range now, which is a bit scary for Stoffel. I don't know if Stoffel had a slow lap this time around. Stoffel had a slow lap. He was a bit off the pace. That one that's allowed Menkov to get close now. He now has to try and extend that gap again. Goes through rally on the corner, which he was a bit worried about earlier on in practice. He was mentioning the fact that the car just didn't really want to get round. They had to lift to get up there. Saying the Audis have the downforce read to keep up, but so far he's doing well. He's staying in front and keeping Romankov at bay. Down the order, Carlota is trying to chase down Muller, who gained the position mostly by mistake by Carlota closing to spin it in the bus stop. He's trying to make the time up now. He's chasing down the Corvette down the Kemmel straight. Quite close enough right now to make a possible move, but he is definitely gaining. That is the lone Corvette now in this series. At least in this race anyway.
Moment we have Cazorla trying to close the gap to Molly again.
Be a case on the brakes. Carlos seems to be a bit more confident on the brakes, gaining a lot of time there. That's getting a bit of better exit out of corners, so it's a bit of a seesaw battle. Ooh, Carlos goes very deep there, trying to keep on, barely gets it round. And loses a bit of time there. Just such an aggressive move. He's desperately trying to make that pass happen. Aston Bruno just lurking in the background there.
Sorry.
As I believe Vilars got past Berlin. Oh, he did spin, didn't he, Berlin, earlier?
Yeah.
Two Mercedes still very much under a second apart right now. Second not really pulling a gap that he would want. Romankov is now back once again to Stoffmill, so another quick lap for him. Back in the range of the slipstream. And this seems to be very much the case of this race so far. It's been very much a case of a few laps where Stoffmill's quicker. Eventually Romankov gets back in the tow range, but Stoffmill then pulls away again. Could this lap be different? A bit wide down the exit of the source. Trying his best to catch up right now.
Yeah, the leader is also not really running into traffic anytime soon.
Noting that last lap, Stoffmill had a very slow lap compared to what they're normally running. So that might explain why the gap has closed down so much.
So 19 minutes left now. So it will be interesting to see what happens from here. Maybe tire wear playing a role here, mentioning that. And of course trying not to make any mistakes as a result of the reduced grip.
I think it's going to be a slight issue for the Audi. I don't know how fuel is going to be though. Remember that during Monza, the BMW ran into fuel issues.
That is also true. And this also a track with a lot of straights, flat out a lot of the time.
It's going to be interesting.
So it could be an issue, not as much as in Monza, presumably.
Somewhat how Romankov taking the bus stop is he's taking a more straight line approach to it. Stoffmill is taking a Mickey Mouse approach to it. Does mean he's slightly better lined up for an exit, but Romankov is making it quicker through it. Obviously, BMW lacks that launch out of corners really. It's a turbocharged car, V6 twin turbo. Audi naturally aspirated V10.
I think the BMW is a V8 twin turbo.
V8? I think it is. I know the Bentley is a V8. I'll have to check now.
I'll look it up. It's a 4.4 liter V8 twin turbo.
Okay.
And the BMW.
The more you know. Right, Carzo's trying to close the gap. He was very close towards the source, but got somewhat meant the gap's being extended once again. I'm confused with the fact that the Nissan's a V6 twin turbo, and they sound fairly similar. It doesn't sound like a V8. It makes more swooshy noises rather than a grumble like a lot of the other V8 twin turbos do.
Yeah.
It's very wide down the exit again, so be a bit careful about that. Yeah, the Bentley makes a deep grumble noise as it goes past, while the M6 makes a swooshy noise. Doesn't sound like a V8 at all. Hopefully we will maybe next season see some Bentleys. The Bentley is one of the older cars in the GT3 class. 2015 specification is in the game, but has been proven before to be competitive in the right hands and with some setup work. Be nice to see that large boat as such rolling around. I think it's the main car I missed. I think we nice to see some of the Z4s out again. The V8 Shrieky Boys. Be very cool to see once again rolling the track. But current way balance performance is favouring these more modern machinery, such as the M6 and the Audi R8. That's why they're the more popular picks.
Yeah. Indeed would be fun to see some more diversity, but this is just the way the balance with performance is right now. It makes sense to pick the more modern, more popular cars at the moment.
Balance payment can change though any moment, so only with one race left to go after this, being Road America. Another track which will probably favour the BMW M6 and the likes. Very interested to see how that race will turn out. Might have to go for even the lower downforce package, if it's possible. Remove the rear wing. There's no hilary corners around there, unlike here. Over in America, it's a bit simpler. Olsen is still maintaining the gap with second in front, but not really closing it, not really losing it. It's just sort of hanging there. As each of them sort of makes a bit of mistakes here and there, the other gains and loses time. So not really anything to report with these two. Currently just sitting outside of the podium positions. Zola behind them is trying to close the gap onto Muller. A bit more exciting racing possibly coming up in the last 30 minutes. Zola going very deep in the brakes. So Sebastian goes very deep in the brakes, as seeing him just on camera. So brakes are slightly getting a bit warm possibly as well. Tyre life coming into effect. That's kind of quite hard on the tyres, so it'll be one of the tracks where tyres will be quite significantly worn towards the end of it. Like let's say a Monza, where reality is the tyres are mostly going in a straight line half the time. So now on the back of Muller, down the Kemmel straight, will be close enough to make a move happen. Very close to the back of that Corvette. The Corvette, obviously, unusual car to see. It's not a particularly popular pick. It's nice to see at least one being represented. It's been sticking with his car all season and had a bit of a trouble season once again, but so far he's doing a very good job here. Outside of the few incidents he has had. Right now his main objective is to keep Carzola at bay. They're being very quick in his M6. The leaders have just crossed the line. More once again with a quicker lap of then Romankov. Against the whole seesaw effect in effect for the leaders. Now starts to close the gap once more. Possibly getting close enough. He's got nostril to navigate, which does mean he has to lift up the throttle a bit. Well, that corner somewhat ruined a bit of the racing, somewhat with that having to lift there. But it's a track, obviously. Corner's great fun in high downforce cars. Wouldn't want it to change. As we hit the 10-minute mark. There are only 10 more minutes to go, so that means about 3 to 4 laps left. But not long now for Carlo to make an overtake if he can. Sebastian Bruno is hanging on behind. He's not really close enough to make a challenge, but he is hanging there. Ooh, that's a bit close there. Just missed that. That means a bit of a mistake though. One of them went a bit out of shape. Catch it on the replay once they can't go around again. That's allowed Sebastian Bruno to close the gap up once more. Sebastian with a fighting chance of possibly gaining a position or two in the last 9 minutes of the race. It's not over yet.
Yeah, might still be some chances there for him. He is getting into the toe of Cazorla.
The last few minutes of a race, when it's a situation like this, especially in Mert's position, will feel like the longest minutes of his racing career right now.
Yeah.
He's got to hold back 2 cars, which are getting very close to each other now, and any small mistake on his part would allow them through, or possibly making an overtake or something. So he's hoping those minutes will count down a bit quicker. Meanwhile, the cars behind will want it to go a bit longer. It's going to feel like the shortest couple of minutes of their racing career. As they all try and close the gap if possible. Cars are once again very close, but he's got the kink again. He's got to lift off here. Can't just plough all the way around. But he's still hanging very close. Millet goes to the inside to defend. Cazorla tries to go around the outside on the bus stop. And Millet goes very slowly indeed, almost parks it on there and stays ahead. A bit cheeky there by Millet because he almost went to a stop then.
Yeah, that was a very slow.
Don't know if it was intentional or not, but wherever he is, Cazorla is still right behind him. The Corvette has made somewhat of a bit of a getaway now, and Sebastian Bruno is right behind him now. Is he going to do it? He's going too wide into it. Will they give each other room? Yes, they do. We don't want another instant like lap 1 again. So under a lot of pressure now from Sebastian. Sebastian following right behind. Miller's managed to get somewhat away then, so he's been a bit lucky out of all of this. He's managed to make a bit of a getaway. Don't know if that was because of that very slow, the source or something, but he's broken away a bit, and now Cazorla and Sebastian have to close the gap again.
They will be happy with this, as there's 7 minutes left now.
Minutes left now. He's still wishing those minutes will count down a bit quicker, though. I'm still thinking he's not safe yet. He's not out of the woods yet. Watching that replay again of Sebastian and Cazorla going too wide down into a rouge, and that could have ended nastily if they didn't get each other a room or one didn't back out. Sebastian is looking very feisty right now. He senses a chance here.
So yeah, still a few interesting things going on this late in the race. So we have Bernier and Cazorla fighting for P7. Meanwhile, P1 and P2 are still pretty close together. Although Romanenko is not really gaining. They're doing a very similar pace and have been doing so for a very long time now. And Olsen and Secher are still also pretty close together in the fight for P4, but again, that's been going on for a very long time now.
I think those two are somewhat got a normalised pace against Secker, probably the quicker of the two.
So Olsen is getting very close to Secher now
Oh
on the
yeah,
Kel
they are.
straight. Looks like Secher may have had a bad exit. No attempt to overtake from Olsen though.
He just tries to be a bit safe. It's only 5 minutes to go, so either to be a bit more aggressive now or a bit safer now. Both of these two have had a very good race so far.
Yeah, keep in mind they are teammates, so maybe they're going a bit easy on each other.
As Sebastian goes down the inside of Cazzo down the Kemmel. There's always a bit of contact there, a bit of argy-bargy work.
Makes it sick though.
Sebastian gets through, so now he's got to defend against Carzola now. He will stay ahead for now, a few more corners. But it's a bit glad for all that's going on. He's like, come on guys, keep fighting. I'll make his bit of a getaway. He's been extending that gap since 2 laps ago, basically. After a somewhat slow bus stop. I'm not saying it's deliberate. But it has worked in his favour a bit, like breaking those cars behind him up a bit. Meanwhile, Olsen and Secker are still very close to each other, so they head into the bus stop now. Not quite really close enough to make a move. Being a bit safe as we head into the final dying moments of this race, and this race somewhat has come a bit alive in the last couple of minutes or so. Ashton has pulled a gap now to Carzola.
Oh, Olsen spun!
Olsen spun the bus stop, then there's a bit of contact there, just went on his own.
Not in the bus stop, Olsen spun in
the
La Source. No contact, just kind of lost the rear himself. No damage though, just a minor spin, but that will probably mean the end of the battle for P4. And that Secher makes a mistake.
It's a bit unfortunate for him, but he luckily didn't lose anything out of that, positions wise, so he still maintains his P5 spot. Sebastian is making a break now from Carzola, and is now chasing down Millet in the Corvette. 2 minutes and 40 seconds to do it though. We have a quick look at lap times. Frankov is still on the chase, as this will possibly be the final lap. It will be the final lap next time around.
Their leaders are going through the bus stop right now, with 2 minutes left, and well, the best laps are in the 2:18 range, so this will definitely be the final lap.
Across the line now, so 1 lap to go. Duffnell's just got to do another good lap. The range is a bit far out at this point of the lap to really make anything happen. There's that final straight, which is going to be the issue for him. The Audi strong through this first bit, weaker through sector 2. Through sector 3 is when the BMW's right on the tail. Been leading every lap so far of this race. This is lead 1 more.
No pressure.
No pressure. Greenier's closing the back of Miller. Just for your information. It's a bit close right now towards the end. There's only 1 lap to go, and everyone's like, let's get really close to each other and do a bit of racing. Makes our job a bit harder. As Stoffenberg is a bit slow there. His tyres are shot at this point, I'm assuming. It's a bit deep then.
Still has a fairly large gap to Romanenko. So, assuming he doesn't make any mistakes, he should be able to win this race.
30 seconds to go. This is definitely the final lap. Sebastian Brun is very close to Muller in the back there. I can see on the timing screen. He can possibly make a move now in this
Yeah,
final lap.
they're on the camel straight now. And Bernier goes to the inside as they break into the corner, and Bernier gets ahead.
Good move there by Bruni. Bit of argy-bargy. Right,
Yeah.
final corner now. Muller is getting... Mako is very close down to Stoffmill. This will be his only chance to do this. Stoffmill, I'm assuming, is going to be hugging that inside line all the way to the
Oh,
bus stop.
Bernier spun. Bernier spun. And Muller get back ahead. Casola moves up to P7.
Stoffmill stays ahead in the bus stop. He's got one more corner to go. He's all about this straight. Can he get the exit? He does get the exit there. He's going to be hugging this inside line. And Stoffmill takes the win for the 5th round of the OVRC. Menkov comes home P2. He couldn't get any closer towards the end there. Unfortunately, Sebastian did spin there. He's dropped down to P8.
Yeah, so lost out 2 positions because of that spin. Very unfortunate for him.
As Verstappen crossed the line at P3. Anton Secker had a bit of an issue towards the start of the race. Was about P9, 10ish. Is now going to come home in P4 with his teammate along behind him in P5. A good race for those two. Millet finally gets a good result. After having many races, especially after Imola, where he caused a bit of carnage at the start. He's got one corner to do now, and he will come up P6, so a good result for him, followed by Cozola behind, which will come home in P7. With Sebastian in the background there, he will coming home in P8. After a bit of a late spin there, unfortunately took his race out. He was spun at the beginning of the race. Could have got P6. Could have got P5.
Velar going through the bus stop now in P9, about to cross the line. Followed by Berlin in P10, who also had a spin this race, which cost him a few positions.
Why is Olsen dropping down the order?
Because they're back in the pits and that makes the timing go weird.
Okay, that's just making sure. As Parenkov will come home at P11. And Distendo coming home in P12, the last of the running cars. James Butler and Grignon both retired. Distendo's missing a rear bumper.
Yeah, haven't noticed that before.
Okay, he come home, and that will be everyone finish, and that will mean that Mike Stoffel wins the 5th round of the OVRC at Spa, taking another win. I think he's won 4 out of 5 races. Dominant
Yeah.
season for him.
He pretty sure he has also won the championship now.
He's won the championship. He's got a trophy somewhere now. Menkov
Yeah.
takes the fastest lap.
Congratulations, Mike.
Congratulations. Menkov takes P2 and fastest lap. Verstappen takes P3, followed by Secker, Olsen, Millet, Carzola, Brunier, Villar, and Berlin round off the top 10. And that was a race towards the end there. That was getting a bit closer, and there, words. What are they?
Yeah,
Anyway.
well, I'm glad we still got a good fight for P1. After qualifying, it seemed like my stuff mill would be able to take it quite easily, but Romanenko kept the pressure up, which was very nice to see.
Yep. Yeah, all good stuff. Thank you everyone again for watching. I hope you all enjoyed the race. So we definitely enjoyed it. I hope you did.
Yeah.
Uh,
So yeah, thank you all for watching. If you'd like to see more, please subscribe to our channel. So the next race will be in a couple of weeks' time at Road America, which will be the final race of the season. Also, if you enjoyed this race, click the like button. We would really appreciate it. and see you next time.